Welcome to the February 2019 meeting of the Homebrew Robotics Club. My name is Osman Arau. I'm the president of the club. One thing I would like to start off with is we have had a request from Google just to make sure that everybody stays within a certain area, and that includes this room, the direct path from here to the entrance, and if you need to go to the restroom, you'll find it just past the cafeteria to the left. So Google is very generous in allowing us to use their facilities. So yes, thank you very much, Google. So please don't abuse this opportunity and wander where you're not supposed to go. For how many of you is this your first meeting? Excellent. All right, a couple. So thanks very much for coming. The way the meeting works is that we start off the meeting with club news or general robot-related news. Then we go into show and tell, where people bring the robots or other robot-related projects that they're working on. Even if they're not completely working, we love to see the robots in any stage. And then at about 8 o'clock, we're going to have a speaker. This month it's going to be our very own Alan Fetterman. He's going to be talking about his Jack Robot project that he's working on. He's going to be talking about using robots around people. So a couple of robot-related pieces of news. We mentioned last month that we are going to be having what we're calling our Botnik. So this is the first time that we're going to be trying this. This is going to be an outdoor picnic type event where we can bring outdoor robots, perhaps larger robots or even drones, things that we can't have at our meetings due to safety concerns. You'll feel free to bring them to the Botnik. It's going, well, Rob's organizing. Would you like to say a bit about it?
Sure. Yeah, so, I don't want to go through my slides like last time, but in case anybody's new or missed the meeting last time, I did put some slides on the mailing list about kind of what I want to do. It's just a casual, fun, outdoor challenge event kind of thing at the Baylands. And the main event will be a Robo Magellan event, with Robo Games Dead. A lot of interest in that. I'm getting a lot of emails from various folks about it that want to do it. So that'll be fun. And then I have a personal interest in trying to throw in a sample robotic retrieval challenge type of event as well after the Magellan thing. And anyway, slides are on the mailing list, and check it out. Any questions, just email me and stuff. But looking forward to doing it, and should be fun. That's a great question. The park opens at 8 o'clock, and I actually probably need 3 or 4 people to show up right at 8 o'clock to help me grab a space, grab the field space we want, so I can set up. But, we can start, once we get the thing demarcated and our tape in and all that kind of stuff, we can start our first event like at 8:30 or 9. Or, if people want to go. So I'm planning on being there pretty much most of the day. And this is all casual, fun. We're not, nobody dies if we lose, or
no
money or anything like that. It's just fun, casual, way to do Robo Magellan since we don't have Robo Games. And that's really it. Sorry. Oh. Yeah. Sorry, the date is important. It's on the mailing list, but it's Saturday, May 11th. So it's the weekend before Maker Faire. And, so there'll be some fun events at Maker Faire too we're going to do with those other guys.
Yeah, so at the Botnik, we're going to run some of the typical competitions that you see at other robot events, such as Robo Magellan, which is the autonomous outdoor navigation. There might be a few robots that are left over from the NASA sample return challenge that they had a couple of years ago. So we'll have our own version of that. And anything else that we can think of, or if anybody has any suggestions, talk to Ralph. So the other event that's coming up, of course, is Maker Faire. And as usual, Homebrew Club is going to have a booth at Maker Faire, as we have done for many years now. Thanks to Camp, who does a great job organizing that for us every year. So we are looking for people to come and staff our booth. In return for staffing the booth, Camp, are we offering tickets this year?
Well,
How does
first
that-
off, we've responded to the call for makers, so we need to be accepted first. Then we'll let folks know. And the price of admission is one homebrew robot, and you need to come for 2 days of the 3-day event and spend at least 4 hours at the booth.
Yeah, and in return, you might be getting a free ticket to get into Maker Faire, which is like a, I don't know, $50 value. I don't know how much it is these days. But yeah, it's a great deal. You get to support our club, and hopefully recruit a lot of other people for our club too. So the other event that's going on at Maker Faire is going to be something new, and we mentioned it last month. It's going to be called a Robo Jam, and the intention of Robo Jam is to replace what used to be Robo Games, which was held once a year, which unfortunately is no longer. But in order to help try to fill the void, one of our members, Francisco, who's not here right now, but I'm sure he'll be here later, has volunteered to organize what we're calling Robo Jam. And there's a limited number of competitions that he's going to be organizing. It's not going to be quite as extensive as Robo Games, but we're thinking that we should start small, make it successful, and then build from there. So Robo Jam is going to be in its own area of Maker Faire. I think they've allocated about 500 square feet for the competitions. There will also be pits. So if you're competing and you bring a robot, there will be a place for you to work on your robot. Competitions are things like sumo, line following, kind of the smaller competitions that they used to have at
We're
Robo
having
Games.
the table bot challenge.
Oh.
Everybody has a table bot, okay?
Everybody in this
And so
function.
or you can spin one up in a week,
Yeah.
for 15 bucks. Now, the competition is a 1-day pass, okay? Different than the homebrew club boots stock, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Robo Jam. Go ahead.
Yeah, so technically Robo Jam is not necessarily affiliated with the Homebrew Club. We are making it a separate organization, so the way it's being billed is it's Robo Jam at Maker Faire, sponsored by, and then there's a list of sponsors, of which Homebrew Club is one of the sponsors. And there's a few other sponsors that Francisco already has lined up as well. So hopefully, if the event goes well, this is something that's going to occur every year. And who knows, maybe if it grows large enough, it will become an independent organization, maybe with its own venue at some point, if we like to think
Like
big.
torture.
One of the goals of the Homebrew Club is to encourage people to build robots and to help sponsor events that encourage people to build robots. So one of the things that this club is going to do is reimburse. So one thing I did mention is that there's also, in addition to the entrance fee to Maker Faire, there's a $15 entrance fee for Robo Jam.
In addition?
In addition to the Maker Faire. And I can understand why Maker Faire asked for this, because they are donating a huge portion of real estate to this competition. I think they've said they're going to be spending like something in the order of $40,000 to $50,000 on this event. So they want to see it successful, and they want to make sure that everybody who's participating is actually going to show up. If you have something that's free, people tend to say, "Oh, that's great," and then never come. I think if people have to invest something, a little bit of money, if you pay your $15, I think you're actually more likely to actually go. At least that's the theory. But we'll see how it goes. This is the first year. I'm sure there's going to be some things that don't go well, but we'll learn from it. Francisco will learn from it, and hopefully it will happen every year. So one other thing that we did mention about Maker Faire and the HBRC booth is that if you want to participate in the HBRC booth, you need to be a paid member of the club. So make sure you do that at least a month in advance, because there may not be an opportunity. Like you decide you want to go on the day of the show, it's going to be too late. So by the April meeting, make sure you paid your dues to Chris if you want to participate in Maker Faire. For those of you who are new, dues are an optional part of the club. You're welcome to come to the meetings, participate in our Google group, show robots, talk to people. You never have to pay dues, but if you like the club and you want to sponsor it, dues are $10 a year per family. So hopefully it's not too much. And if you want to become an official member, get your badge, talk to Chris. All right, does anybody else have any other robot-related news to share this evening? No? Yes?
Well, I posted about the Avatar X Prize competition. So I have a fully registered team for that. So
can you say what that is?
So yeah, so the X Prize guys, they come up with an interesting contest every so often, some kind of really hard technical problem, and this one is about effectively remotely controlling a robot, so an avatar, in other words. And obviously, there's lots of interesting uses for that, and so there's a competition. It's funded with $10 million, I believe.
How much?
10 million.
$10 million. $10 million. And the way that breaks down, if I understand correctly, is that there's a first deliverable of what essentially amounts as a document with all your plans and strategy and all of that. And they'll allow up to 150 teams to go on in the contest. And I believe the way it works is they split $2 million among however many teams make it past that, and then the winner gets $8 million. And
I'm sorry, how much?
$8 million.
Where's the
$8
other-
million.
Where's the $2
US
million?
dollars.
So you're keeping
They have
two.
money.
So yes,
I can do the
I take 2 right off the top. So it turns out that they announced this last year, and it just really got in the swing of things the last month or so. And it turns out that I had some. It's a long story, but basically I had some crazy ideas about a new way of doing robotic actuators. And I had a pre-talk with a VC in Palo Alto, and who challenged me to come up with a really big business to use it. I had some ideas in mind, and it had to do with, if you have a reasonable, say, potentially humanoid robot that was inexpensive, what would you do with it? And so I have a whole business plan of an avatar-based system. And then 3 months later, they announced this contest. So I had already been thinking about it, done some work. I have some interesting branding and domain names and all of that. And right now I have a team of, there's 5 of us that are all experienced developers in various senses. And I filed a patent myself in November, and so kind of on a roll, but there's going to be a huge amount of work, and so I need collaborators. And sponsors and everything else. So if anybody's interested, let me know, and we'll kind of talk. You can respond with an email message, tell me who you are and what you do, and all of that, and then send me your resume or whatever, and then we'll talk to the team, and then decide how to work together.
What's your name?
Stephen Williams.
Oh, sounds exciting. Good luck.
How much do they award for handing in the document?
Only $1 million.
Oh, okay.
Well,
$45.
the document at the end of the, so I think it's the first phase, and you have to have the, I think it's late in October, and so they'll split $2 million.
You can
among-
pass that because we approved.
Basically, I guess they're essentially doing a sanity check that you're doing something reasonable, and
Just turning it in, you don't get in.
if you are part of the 150, up to 150 teams that are accepted, however many teams are accepted, split $2 million. So, whatever that works out.
Just having a plan.
That's the way it's written. I think that the actual requirements are going to evolve as people are going.
All right, so maybe you'll have some people respond to you on the Google group.
That would be great. Thanks.
All right, any other pieces of news, robot related, to share? No? Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is show and tell.